Man, I've been doing this for 14 years, roasting for 14 years, and there's always things for me to learn. That smells fantastic. Yeah. Just stand there all day. Buying good coffee is way more important than brewing it. Great.
Buy some beans. My brother does pour over.
Okay.
So I'm looking for recommendations for you.
Okay.
He says he likes either light or medium roast.
Okay.
And yeah.
They're all light?
Okay.
Let me walk around and I'll show you some.
More earthy flavors, so not the citrusy ones. Okay. But anything, not very fruity.
Is it a gift? Is that why?
It is, yeah. And I don't drink coffee, so it's kind of hard.
This one might be the best, actually. Now that I'm looking at it, it's this Marlin one here. That's it, yeah. It's this one here. It does definitely lean pretty earthy. Okay. Maybe the most that I have. Okay. But if you want to like not risk it, then one of the Ethiopias. But if it's a gift, I feel like you want to go with something like that. Yeah.
And then you said which of the Colombia?
The Marlin, this first one here. Yeah. I'm gonna smell the coffee grounds. One of the best parts of coffee. Is your day going pretty well? Your day going pretty well?
Yeah.
Nice. It's getting hot quickly.
Yeah, seriously. I have a Chemex at home, and then I was told it's like, all right, if you want to do light roast, you should not be using it. Okay.
The thing about Chemex is, it's great. It's a form of pour over, but there's the ventilation around the edges is so bad because it just sticks to the edges. That's why like the ridges on the V60 is great. You literally are trapping everything from releasing, all the gases from releasing, and you do want the gases to release. I'll usually tell people probably similar things to what you've heard, like get away from the Chemex, but what's good about it is you can brew a lot of coffee. Yeah. I'm not trying to say you have to go off and buy a bunch of gear. Yeah. I'm the last person to say that, but if you want to like improve your coffee, buying good coffee is way more important than brewing it. Great. All right, smell this. I always forget sometimes it's hot and I just go off and grab the whole thing and I'm like, oh, burning myself. So let this cool down. Give it a few minutes. Really, really nice. One of my favorite Rare Series coffees.
This was the 46, right?
This was 46, yeah. Next time you come by, try the La Fortuna, the 51. It's the newest one. It's super green tea. Like if you like an even lighter body than that one's just a little more fruity. Yeah. Cool. Have a good one.
I don't think I've ever had a really good espresso, to be honest.
So actually, I do like espresso.
It's not like I don't. It's just that I don't think I've had like. All of the espresso I've had, I think have been like from medium dark to darker roasts.
That's traditional, yeah.
That's much more traditional, right?
Yep, exactly.
So I haven't had like a geisha in an espresso.
Oh, honestly though, some lightly roasted espressos, which are harder to dial in, but once you can dial them in, they're really good.
They're really, really good.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Not as good as this, but of course. It's like if I gave you a Deborah as a pour over and a Deborah as an espresso. Yeah. Although Deborah is probably the best espresso I've ever had, I still think it's better as a pour over. Yeah. As a pour over. Yeah.
How long do you recommend you rest your coffees?
It depends on it really depends on the coffee, but typically for the traditional, at least about 2 to 3 weeks. Rares are about a month, so 3 to 4 weeks you can start getting into them, and then the exceptionals, all but the Tusa Hill, I would say about 5 to 6 weeks. Okay. The Tusa Hill, you can actually get into it, I would even say 4 weeks or so.
I just realized this morning that I ran out of coffee.
Oh, so you need one now?
Yeah. So this one's 4:30.
Oh, yeah, then, I mean, if you want to, these are fantastic coffees, and this is the last roast of it.
You can probably drink it now.
Yeah, you can drink that now.
Before I stepped out, my friend, he's getting into roasting, and he sent me your page.
Oh, cool.
It's only 2 miles from my place. I'll go check it out.
Oh, nice.
Are they competitions like auction ones? They are, right?
One of them is I did buy at an auction. Okay. I mean, those are Iris and Deborah are constantly used for brewing competitions, brewing competitions.
Right? So
yeah.
Makes sense.
You want to smell the Marlin?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought you guys.
Where's my girlfriend?
Iris?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's a hybrid washed. So carbonic macerated and natural. Okay. And then it was washed after. Man, I've been doing this for 14 years, roasting for 14 years, and there's always things for me to learn.
I know that there's some coffee production in California, right?
Yeah, I have some.
Okay.
I'm about to launch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to their farm. Their main farm is in, or where they process all the coffees is in Ventura.
Ventura, okay.
But they work with about 20 different farmers or farms within the Santa Barbara region and all the way down the ocean side. Last year, one of my favorite coffees I had that I offered was a natural geisha from them.
California?
So in California, for example, the coffee farm that I went to for Fringe, right next to where they grow coffee, they're surrounded by lemon trees. And they actually don't plant it so that it, takes in a lemon note to it. They do it to block the wind. All right, your coffee's ready. How's it going? So it changes once you put it in the paper cup. So I like to have people smell it from here first. Enjoy that. Have a good one. Next time you come by, let me know what you think of the Finca Lorraine. That isn't one of those coffees where the aromas hit you, but when you're drinking it, it's kind of peachy, kind of apricot. It's very nice. All right, this is the Deborah. Give it a few minutes to let it cool. Once it cools, tastes like a tea. A lot of the washed Panama geishas brew very slowly.
Yeah, you need
So I go pretty coarse on them.
Yeah.
Hey. How's it going? Good, how are you? Good. Do you want a coffee or bag?
I would just get a bag.
A bag? Yeah. Which one were you thinking? The Jessica is going to be a little more fruit forward, actually quite a bit more. The Immaculata is going to be very light, very tea-like, slight sweetness to it, like a kind of like a peachy syrup body to it. It's very nice though. The Larina, lots of lavender, lots of plum, like dark plums. Larina. All right, this is the Marlin. Let that cool down. Enjoy it. Thank you guys.
This was accepted.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah. Pure cherry, right?
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And this is reason rested 5-6 weeks?
5 weeks. This is 5 weeks rest. That smells fantastic. Just stand there all day. It's funny because when I first sampled it, the first note I wrote down was cherry, either the grounds and with brewing it.
Yeah.
And then I drank it again and I told myself cherry again. I could just write cherry. Some coffees I do struggle to find like other notes to them because one note is overpowering it. I'm bringing this up because somebody reached out to me this week, a roaster. I'm not gonna name a name, but somewhere in the US, reached out to me and said, hey, I keep doing lighter roasts. It's just not coming out. And do you mind if I just like send you something and then you just try it and see what I can do, whatever. All the time this happens. And I'm like, sure, whatever. And they're like, oh, I watch your videos on how to roast and whatever. And 90% of the time, they send me their coffees and like their light roast is not even light. It's still a darker roast. Yeah. It's because when you're taught how to roast, without boring you guys, when you're taught how to roast, the levels of roasting, you're taught like medium and dark. Like light roast is not what you're taught because it's different. It's very unique because the roasting machines really matter. And most roasting machines cannot do a true light roast. You have to get a specific machine.
Is there a season for coffee?
Yeah, in California?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's interesting about it is they typically follow the wine industry. So you harvest it around October. Yeah. When I went to go and tour one of the farms though, there were already some ripe cherries and that was in April. But it was because of the weird, we had like a bunch of rain early on in the year and then it got hot. So it confused the trees. So then they matured a lot quicker, but then they kind of like slowed down afterwards. So they said, yeah, we'll probably pick those earlier ones or just let them rot because they're not gonna be as good. They didn't sit on for long enough. But they said the earliest we'll pick something is like August. Yeah, but most of them are, like the one that I have was harvested October 7th and 14th. Like Panama, for example, where I buy a lot of coffee from, most Panama producers harvest their coffee between December and April-ish. If they're really high elevation, then it runs a little further out, so like April. But if they're a little bit lower, then they'll harvest in January or February. So elevation matters, temperature matters. I have a cold brew.
Oh, you have a cold brew?
Of that one.
Yeah.
You want to do that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know about resting coffee at all? Do you know what that means, resting? So when coffee is roasted, it releases a bunch of gases.
Yeah.
It's part of the process. And I roast very lightly. and the lighter roasted coffees, they keep a harder exterior, so they continue to release gases for like multiple weeks.
Okay.
So the best taste in the coffee is usually a few weeks after the roast.
Okay.
For really light roasted coffees. For dark roast, you can get into them in like a couple of days. But light roasted, you want to give them a few weeks.
My dad roasts beans.
Oh, cool.
He brings them to me when they're ready. He doesn't
Oh,
say,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know there was a wait here.
Yeah. So he knows. He's like,
Yeah.
start now. Yeah. Thanks again for the gift.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
It was good. Yeah, I liked it. It was like it's good. I really enjoyed the coffee. I feel like those coffees, I think it was from Honduras, if I remember correctly. They just have like an underlying kind of smokiness to them, and I still got it in that coffee. But it was good. It was a good coffee. I think I shared it with you guys, right? Yeah.
It was expensive.
Yeah, it was a cup of excellence. So
But I don't know, so I was curious what you thought of it. Like, if I was missing something, I might have been missing something on it.
I mean, it was enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, it was good, yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I appreciate you giving me that
Yeah,
again.
no worries, no worries.
What coffee do you want to get?
I've been trying it in California. You have the
California, yeah, last one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.